Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Thursday. Welcome back. I hope your day is off to a fantastic start. I'm here with my trusty assistant Alf, who is in my lap per usual. We're both wearing black today, so you might not be able to see him very well, but he's here. You'll hear his snores. Those of you who have been asking about Penny, she's still very much here. Like she rules the house. Penny's kind of the queen of this place. It's like a self-imposed title for her. We certainly didn't make her the queen, but she made herself the queen. Anyway, she rules the roost from the back of the couch in the family room. That's where she, you know, tells Alf what to do all day long. So yeah, she's very much still here. Penny is also much more like Craig's dog. You know how dogs like have like, they usually tend to have like a favorite person in the house, and I'm Alf's favorite person, Craig is Penny's favorite person, and Stella, well, the dogs both like adore Stella, so anyway, she gets both. Penny's still here, she's doing well, so yeah, she's fine. Okay, you guys, I have 6 new fragrances to sniff through with you today. These are some new launches for the Kringle Reserve line. These are going to be launching this coming Saturday, September 23rd. Is that this Saturday? Yes, I don't know. Of course it is. Yeah, like, because Craig's birthday was last week. I cannot believe how far into September we are already. It's kind of freaking me out, as you can see, based on just my sudden realization that it's already the 23rd on Saturday. Anyway, they're launching at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So those of us on the West Coast, womp womp for us, we have to wake up early on a weekend. But at least they're launching on a weekend and not during a weekday when a lot of people are at work and don't really have a chance to order. So there are actually 7 new fragrances that are launching. The 7th one is still on its way to me. I pre-ordered that one. It was not poured at the time that Joe put together the PR packages to send out to ambassadors. So I went ahead and ordered that one. So I will review it when it gets here. But today I can tell you about the 6 scents that Kringle was nice enough to send out to me to be able to share mostly my first impressions with you. I haven't lit any of these. I'm actually going to start lighting them today, this afternoon, and I'm going to try to get at least 1 burn out of each of these before I film my weekly home fragrance roundup for Saturday morning, and I'll try to get that video up kind of early in the morning on Saturday. I'll pre-film it and get it ready to go so that it goes live with that like post burn information for just probably 1 or 2 burns, to be perfectly honest at this point, because I just got these in the mail yesterday. So anyway, look for that video on Saturday morning, and hopefully this just helps you make a decision on whether you want to invest in any of these fragrances or not. I have sniffed them very quickly, and I will say there's at least one in here that I'm just like, ooh, what is this smell? There's one that I really don't personally care for, but hopefully I can still do a decent job of kind of imparting what it does smell like to my nose. I'm always upfront about whether, you know, I like a scent or not. I'm upfront about the performance of candles. So if I don't like something, then I don't know, I think that's okay. I know there's some people who are just like, if you don't like the scent, then it, you know, like, why would they send it to you? And it's just like, I don't know, like I don't get to decide what comes my way. I'm always grateful for everything that I receive in terms of PR. But, you know, while the companies probably know what my preferences are, that doesn't necessarily mean that they create these PR packages just based off of like our scent preferences. So, and I think it's nice for people to be able to review scents that aren't necessarily in their wheelhouse, because I think it gives a different perspective. So as you guys are aware, I mostly personally gravitate towards gourmand scents, but yeah, we've got some really unique, interesting things here. I do have fragrance notes to share with you. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and just dive right into it. The Great Pumpkin is the one that I went ahead and pre-ordered because it wasn't ready to go. So as soon as that gets here, I will obviously burn it and review it. I will tell you the fragrance notes. So the notes for Great Pumpkin are, top notes are cinnamon and pumpkin. You have nutmeg and ginger root for the mid notes, and you have toffee and vanilla for the base notes. Honestly, I think the Great Pumpkin might end up being my favorite out of these 7 that are launching here. So just based off the fragrance notes, I think it's going to be a really classic, yummy, kind of maybe slightly spicy fall pumpkin, and I love those. So anyway, that is the one that I cannot give you an actual first sniff impression of. But let's get started with these other ones. I'm gonna pick up Gilded Leaves first. I have to admit, out of all of these new labels, I think this one might be my favorite. These are super simple labels, but I just thought the Gilded Leaves that are on here are so pretty. So here is a look at that label. Obviously classic Kringle black jar here. These are slightly more translucent so that you can see the flame through the jar. But let's go ahead and classic white wax, those beautiful wicks that just always work like a charm. Okay, just kind of initial impression. This is a slightly earthy, slightly smoky, but also perfumey type of scent. So let's, that's just kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this, but let's go ahead and read through the fragrance notes. Okay, so our top notes are autumn leaf, mountain laurel, and berry bitters. The mid notes are tobacco leaf. Ooh, yeah. That tobacco leaf is definitely a very, very prominent note in here. As soon as I read that, I was like, that's what that is. Fresh hewn cedar. I don't often use the word hewn, so it's kind of interesting to see that. Glistening amber, and then the base is earthy patchouli, vanilla musk, and sandalwood. So we do have some patchouli in here, which is, I think, what is turning this a little bit more perfumey for me. So this is nice perfumey patchouli, not typical, or I guess maybe more classic dirty hippie patchouli, as I like to call it. So let's kind of go through these. Autumn leaf. There is a nice, like, almost outdoor, like, fresh leaf pile type of vibe to this. Kind of like wet leaves, but it doesn't smell gross, right? Like it's nice. It's a nice pile of leaves. Maybe they haven't been like rotting, you know, in the rain. I don't know, but it does smell leafy for sure. A little bit of like a wet leaf smell. Mountain laurel. I don't know. I mean, I'm not super familiar with laurel, so I'm not gonna claim to like really be able to pick that out here. But I do kind of smell those berry bitters, which is really interesting. There is a slight bitterness to this for sure, but also like a sweetness. It's a really interesting complex blend. I have to say that tobacco leaf in the mid notes here is wonderful. I'm really picking a lot of that up, and I think it pairs nicely with that like wet leaf type note that's coming through for me. Cedar, I can see a touch of cedar in here. I would like for more of that cedar to maybe come out. I'm hopeful, crossing my fingers here, that when I'm burning this, more of that cedar comes through. Amber, yes, I smell some amber in here. Again, amber to my nose lends itself to being a little bit more perfumey as a fragrance note, and if you combine that with patchouli, I don't even know that I would call this earthy patchouli, because to me earthy patchouli usually leans like, you know, that typical like 1960s like hippie patchouli smell, and that's not what this is. This is a prettier patchouli. I really like patchouli personally. I know it gets like a really bad rap, but it pairs really nicely with my body chemistry. So I actually, when I smell like a perfume or a personal fragrance that has patchouli in it, I'm immediately like, get in my cart, because I know that that translates really well with just my natural chemistry, I guess. So I tend to really like patchouli myself. It is noticeable in here, but again, it's not earthy patchouli. And I think the amber also kind of mellows that patchouli out just a little bit. I really like, the more I smell this, the more I like it. Now, is there like a vanilla musk note? Yes, there is a muskiness to this, but it is a vanilla muskiness for sure. And sandalwood, yeah, I can actually smell some sandalwood in here on cold sniff. I actually get way more sandalwood, and more so than like the cedar at all. But I think the cedar would be a really nice touch in here. So as far as this one goes, I really enjoy this scent. Is this like in my normal wheelhouse? No. But do I really like this? Is it really unique? I think this is really unique. I haven't smelled anything quite like this from Kringle. So this is one of those really interesting fragrances that, to me, I am really actually looking forward to burning, and it would make a great bedroom scent. Like, that's total like bedroom scent for me. Okay, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be really curious about this cherries, or royal cherries, I guess I should say. So here's a look at the label. Just very simple. The labels for all of these are just very, very simple. This is the one we'll talk about next, is pumpkin buns. But yeah, just very, maybe more austere type labels than what they normally do with the regular Kringle or Country Candle line. So let's go ahead and open up Royal Cherries. I don't know what I was expecting, but this isn't it. I like what I'm smelling here, but this is a type of cherry that it doesn't really come across as like a fall scent necessarily. I feel like this would have been a great release for the Reserve line in the summer. This is really, really, it kind of almost reminds me of something else, and I cannot place what this reminds me of, but like scent memory is such a thing, right? Like, you can smell something and be like, I've smelled that before. Where have I smelled that? And it'll drive you crazy if you can't figure out what it is. And that's definitely the case with this one. Okay, Royal Cherry. Ooh, you know, this kind of reminds me a little, the tiniest bit. It's not a dupe of the Tom Ford Lost Cherry, but kind of, if you like Tom Ford Lost Cherry, I think you're gonna like this. So, personally, I don't do any Tom Ford fragrances myself because Tom Ford isn't cruelty free, but there's a ton of dupes out there for Lost Cherry. I have a couple of them, and it's a beautiful scent for sure. The dupes are also way less expensive than the $350 Tom Ford version. Okay, top notes: cherry, sweet almond, and pineapple. Yes. Okay, as soon as I saw sweet almond, there is an almond note in here for sure. Almost like an almond blossom, I would say. This is a little bit floral to me, but definitely fruity as well. There's also that pineapple, which luckily I get a little bit of like pineapple tang, if you will, but I don't get like pure pineapple, which I'm personally happy about. I'm not a huge fan of pineapple. I've not made any bones about that. It just, while I love eating pineapple, while I love, you know, pineapple cocktails, like I love me a good pina colada, I just don't like the smell of pineapple in home fragrance. It kind of smells artificial to me. I smell that kind of tang that pineapple can give off, especially when it's like really ripe, but this isn't screaming like pineapple to my nose. The mid notes are rose and white flower. So yeah, definitely floral notes in here. The base is musk, creamy, sandalwood, and caramel. I do not smell any caramel on cold sniff, so let's cross that one off for a cold sniff. But rose, yes, not a lot of rose. If you're scared of rose, don't not get this one just because you see that rose note. Really, the cherry is like the outstanding fragrance note that you're getting here. how would I describe this cherry? It's not like your typical, like just pure fruit cherry, like an edible cherry. It's more of a perfumey cherry. Really smells quite similar to the same cherry that's used in the Tom Ford fragrance. I really like, the more that I smell this, the more I'm like, I really like this. I think it's because it smells like perfume. So yeah, definite floral notes. But for me, like that almond, it's, maybe that's like, it's, so almond flowers are, I believe they're typically only white. I don't think that they come in different shades, but correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm not super familiar with like almond trees, but I believe they're usually white flowers that are on almond trees. Musk, yes, there is a muskiness to this. There is sandalwood in here. Creaminess, I wouldn't call this like a creamy scent at all. It's quite heavy on the cherry. It has a definite almond note. It does have the florals that you see in the mid notes. There is musk, there's sandalwood, there's no caramel. I like this. I like this quite a bit. And in fact, I think this is another like great bedroom type scent for me personally. This is definitely more of a perfumey floral cherry. I would not encourage you to get this one if you are not okay with having some floral component to this scent. There are definitely floral components here. So next, this one is so cute. In fact, I want to make these. They look delicious. These are pumpkin buns. Let's take a look. Super cute label. I love the little pumpkin buns. The little stems at the top, I think, are just little pieces of like cinnamon stick. So cute. I would love to eat these. Yum. All right. Ooh, okay. Yeah, this is good. This is a typical gourmand in that it just smells delicious and it smells really authentic. I'm getting some saltiness here on Cold Sniff that I kind of like. Okay, our top notes are pumpkin, apple, peach, and clove. Do I smell peach? I don't think I smell any peach. I definitely get some of the apple vibe, but it's a lot of pumpkin. This is a lot of pumpkin. Definite clove note. Really nice clove. This clove actually smells very similar to the clove in my collab candle. I wonder if it's the same. The mid notes are cinnamon, ginger, mixed nuts, and nutmeg. The base is caramel, maple syrup. Oh yeah, maple. I can smell a touch of maple in here right away. Milk and vanilla. Okay, on this one, the base notes of the caramel, maple syrup, even the milkiness is definitely coming through even on Cold Sniff. But it kicks off with that pumpkin, I would say touch of apple. Man, I hope that peach comes out when it's burning because I think that would be such an interesting addition to this. I just can't really smell it on Cold Sniff. Ooh, but I love that clove. That's gotta be the same clove. I should ask. Ooh, that's yummy. Cinnamon, ginger, yes. Not a lot of ginger. It's there, but it's not like a ton of ginger. Nutmeg, yes. Mixed nuts. So I do get just a touch of saltiness from this, but I wouldn't say it's nutty saltiness. Sounds gross and weird all of a sudden. Oh. But yeah, like I get some saltiness from this, but I don't really necessarily get like a nuttiness. Not on Cold Sniff. If it comes out when it's burning, I think that would be delightful. But I really, really love what I'm smelling here. And this is absolutely, I think, gonna be the first one that I light up because this is delightful. Yeah. Depending on how fast these go. Now, I'm gonna let other people have a chance at the launch because I know these sell out super quickly and it's super generous of them to send me these to be able to preview for you guys. So I'm gonna hold off on ordering, but if there are any of the pumpkin buns left after maybe like the midpoint of the day, like if I get back from Stella's soccer game in the afternoon and there is still pumpkin buns left on Saturday, I'm ordering it because that's delightful. Big fan. Okay. Okay. I almost hate to address this one because I really don't like the way this smells. This is red maple. Now, let's read through the fragrance notes before I stick my nose in it. All right, red maple. The notes don't sound bad, but there's something off about this. Okay, our top notes are jasmine, orange, and saffron. The mid notes are ambergris, cedarwood, and vanilla. If you don't know what ambergris is, it is, it's technically, so it's mostly artificial now, but it used to be harvested from the ocean. It's a secretion from the whale's intestines. I'm sure, I think it's just sperm whales, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but ambergris, it's usually found floating in the ocean, and it's quite musky, which would explain why this comes across as very musky to me. But the odd thing is, like, again, just like with patchouli, usually when I see ambergris in the perfume notes of fragrances that I intend to purchase, I'm like, yes, that vibes with my body chemistry. I love it. Get in my cart. But maybe I'm smelling it in here and I am just not. Ugh. Okay, sorry, let's keep going. Okay, I'm going back to the mid notes. Ambergris, cedarwood, and vanilla. And then the base is fir, moss, and musk. Okay, I'm just gonna give you like the vibe that I get from this. If I had to put like a name on it, it would be pungent funkiness. I think it's the ambergris. It's quite powerful. It's very musky smelling, and normally I really like that, but I feel like ambergris might be all that I am smelling here. And it's mixing maybe with that saffron note. I'm not even getting moss necessarily, or fir. I really smell just a lot of ambergris in here, and it's coming across kind of funky to my nose. Now, this is not to say that you are gonna have the same experience with this candle. I bet there are going to be people out there who purchase this who are like, this is the most amazing thing I have ever smelled in my life. So don't discount the fragrance just because it's not a personal preference of mine, but something about this is just not jiving with my nose, nasal passages, whatever you want to say. You know what? I think, is it Baccarat Rouge 540 that has some ambergris in it? I think it might. I can smell the ambergris in the Mon Amour fragrance. But it's just so heavy in here. I think it's the amount. It's the amount of the ambergris that I think is throwing it off for me. So obviously this is not the scent for me. I'm still gonna burn it. Admittedly, I might have to burn this on my back patio. Sometimes I do that, but I will still review this for you guys. I will let you know if it somehow transforms while it is warming, then that would be amazing, and holy moly, I would be here for it. But yeah, as it stands on cold sniff, I don't love that at all. In fact, I would say I dislike that. Okay, Radiant Apple. Okay, this is one that I have a feeling will probably go over pretty well. This is a strange image to me. I do like that like iridescent blue, but it just seems weird to see it on a sliced apple. But this is pretty. It's pretty, and again, it's coming across a little bit perfumey to my nose. Definite fruity scent, like fruit galore, at least in terms of like the apple notes. But let's read through these. Where are you at? Oh, there you are. Radiant Apple. Okay, so we have pearmain apple. I've never heard of a pearmain apple. Blue pearmain apple. Well, I'll be doing some Googling here in a second. Ruby red grapefruit, lemon zest, and pin pineapple. Is that a mistake? Or is pin pineapple also a thing? I'm wondering if that fragrance note is a mistake. I've never heard of a pin pineapple. I've heard of pink pineapples. Maybe they forgot to add the K there. Pink pineapples, by the way, I don't think are vastly different from regular pineapples. I've had both. Pink pineapples are maybe just a little bit sweeter, if that's even possible with a pineapple. But yeah, I could go either way, pink or... I don't want to pay the price of a pink pineapple though. Have you priced those out? I got one as a gift. Someone gifted me a pink pineapple and I was like, all right, great. I love pineapple. I'll eat it. Okay, our mid notes here are blue raspberry, bitter verbena. Okay, I smell that verbena for sure. Tender violet blossom. The base is cane sugar and white woods. This is quite sweet. You definitely want to, like, you want to be into the sweetness with this one for sure. Okay. Apple. The apple note, it's just a very, very sweet, but also slightly tart apple. This is making my mouth water smelling this, you guys. This makes me want to eat an apple right now. Just a touch of red grapefruit for sure, but it's not super prominent. Lemon zest, yes. This is quite a zesty scent as well. And I want to say that that's meant to be pink pineapple. It says pin pineapple, but I think it's pink pineapple. Again, there's a little bit of that like pineapple tang in here for sure, but it doesn't scream pineapple, pink or yellow. It doesn't scream either necessarily, but there's a definite like pineapple tang in here. Blue raspberry, yeah, there's a little bit of that like blue raspberry type note. Stella really likes anything that has like a blue raspberry flavor to it, so I'm quite familiar with the scent. Yeah, I do smell that. Verbena, yes. I wouldn't necessarily call it bitter verbena, but I definitely smell verbena in here. Violet blossom, not so much right now, but definite with that cane sugar. White woods, not so much. Honestly, this smells quite fruity, quite appley, very sweet, slightly tangy, really yummy. It's a yummy scent. I really enjoy this one, and this might actually be another one where if there's any left over, I would actually consider buying more of this one. That's nice. And this one here. Okay, this is Santal and Pumpkin. I like this one, but I was talking to someone else who also received this one, and she did not like it at all. I won't name her. But it's funny because she said that it smelled more like a bathroom air freshener, and I can see where she was going with that, but I actually have an opposite reaction to this one. I quite like this. It is perfume. This is very interesting. I wouldn't immediately go to Santal, but when I see it on the label, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. But when you're smelling it, it's an interesting perfuming. Again, a lot of these are quite perfumey. So pumpkin puree, nutmeg, and clove is our top notes here. Are our top notes here. I do know my grammar. English is my second language, but I've been speaking it for a while. Should know better. All right, our mid notes are white leather and rich Santal accord. The base is vanilla woods, glowing amber. Yeah, there's amber in here. Patchouli. There's patchouli, but it's my type of patchouli. There's way more amber than patchouli. So if the patchouli again is scaring you off, it is not insanely prominent, but it's in there. And then caramel musk. This is quite musky. There was a candle that I used to buy. What was the name of the company? It was at Fred Meyer. It was like a Jasmine Santal scent, I think. And the Santal that's used here reminds me a lot of that. What is the name of that company? if you regularly pick up any candles at Fred Meyer, by the way, if you are like, what the hell is Fred Meyer? It's like a grocery store that also sells other stuff like clothing and household. Oh shoot, I've been talking a long time. Shocker. So I was talking about what Fred Meyer is. It's like, I don't know, it's like a Walmart, but better than a Walmart. I think it's better than a Walmart, but same type of stuff. Like you can get groceries there, you can get clothing, you can get shoes, you can get household goods. I mean, you can buy sheets, you know, like it's that type of place. Anyway, if you are familiar with the candle lines at Fred Meyer, this is for my fellow Pacific Northwest people here. What is the name of that candle company? It's gonna drive me wild. I'll look it up. I'll try to remember to put it in the description box down below. So, but at any rate, this Santal reminds me a lot of the Santal like Jasmine candle that I picked up there a couple times actually. I might have even reviewed that candle. I'll see if I can find it, but I like this. But I can see where it maybe smells a little bit like an air freshener, ever so slightly. But I think this is really pretty. I think this is a pretty scent. Would this be something that I would be tempted to stock up on in any kind of way? No, it's not, but I do like it. So let's talk a little bit more about these notes here. I do get pumpkin in here, but it's not your typical pumpkin. It must be like more of like a white pumpkin. It doesn't smell like your typical pumpkin, that's for sure. It's lighter, it's not as heavy as your typical pumpkin. Nutmeg, absolutely. Clove, actually not so much. I don't get much clove on cold sniff from this one. But leather, I do smell a little bit of like a leatheriness to this, but it's a lighter leather for sure. The Santal, I like this Santal that's in here. Vanilla woods, there's some vanilla in here for sure. Maybe a slightly heavier vanilla, but amber for sure. Patchouli, yup. Caramel musk. I don't know, I feel like it's more of like a generic muskiness that I'm getting from this. I wouldn't say it's necessarily coming from like caramel per se, but I quite like this. And what I will say, on cold sniff, all of these smell quite potent and strong. But I will of course burn these, and I will give you guys some initial thoughts this coming Saturday morning, and hopefully that helps you with your decision making when the candles go live. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions at all. I'll get to burning these, and I will put links for everything in the description box right below this video. If you want to use my discount code, it's Melanie15, and that will save you 15% off of your order. So anyway, I will leave it at that. Again, let me know if you have questions. Check the description box for links, discount information, all of that fun jazz. I appreciate you being here. If you're new, I would love it if you take time to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.